Hello, lovely people, and welcome to another episode of Crafting with the Desmond-Fish Public Library. My name is Beth, and today I'm going to show you how to make a paper flower, like this one here. And like a lot of the things I've been showing you guys how to make, it looks intimidating and complicated, but really it's just a matter of a couple simple steps that you just repeat over and over and over, and you get a really nice effect. So to make this, you're going to need paper. I like using sketchbook paper, just a sketchbook pad. And I'm going to use a whole sheet. So I need one sheet of 11 by 14 paper. I'm going to need scissors. I'm going to need my hot glue gun. I'm going to need wire for the stem, and a pencil to draw my petals. Okay, drawing our petals. Now these don't have to be perfect looking. It's really just the number of them that makes a nice effect. And for the largest petals, I'm going to do 6 of my biggest kind. And I'm going to make kind of a tooth shape. So I'm going to That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do 6 of those. And they don't all have to be identical because it gives a nice sort of variety to your flower if your petals aren't all exactly identical. If you're someone who that's going to bother a whole bunch, because I know you are out there, draw one petal you like, cut it out, and then trace it. That's my advice to you. So I'm going to do 6 this size. And then I'm going to do 8 a bit smaller, 10 a bit smaller than that, and 5 at their teeniest. So I'm going to draw all these, and then I'm going to show you what my petal sheet looks like. So now I have drawn all of my petals. I have 6 that are the largest. I have 8 at my next size. Then I have 10, and then I sort of fit in 5 of my smallest petals all in one sheet. And you can see some of them are a little bit wonky, and they're not all the same size in their category as each other, but that's going to be just fine. So my next task is to cut all of these out. Okay, so now I've cut out all of my petals, and I've stacked them up, biggest to smallest. I've got 6 of my biggest, then 8, then 10, then 5 of the little ones. The next thing I need to do is plug in my hot glue gun and wait until it gets hot. While I wait for my hot glue gun to get all the way hot, I can shape my petals. And this is what's going to take it from looking like a piece of paper you cut out to looking like a petal. So what I'm going to do is I am going to curve each end. So I'm going to open my scissors, hold my paper across it, and pull down to curve. And I'm going to curve both sides so I get a shape like that. And then I'm going to fold it and squeeze. And that is what one petal is going to look like. And I'm just going to go through and do that to all of my petals. You can also curve them on the edge of a table. If you just pull it down around the edge, you can also make the ends curl. I'm going to go through, I'm going to do that to all of my petals. until they're all nicely shaped. That way I can just glue them on. I don't have to shape them as I go. Okay, I've shaped my petals. I have them in piles, easy to access. And now you'll notice I didn't shape my smallest one. And my smallest ones are also a little bit of a different shape. They're less of a tooth and more of a point. Now to start, I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to glue my wire to one edge of my petal. Like so. Then I'm going to roll this around the wire. And my wire came out because my glue gun is not the best of glue guns. You get the idea. It'll wrap around the end, something like that. And that will serve as the middle of your flower. So there we go. And now I'm going to add my other ones that are small, and I'm going to wrap it around in the opposite direction. Since this one wrapped this way, this one I'm going to wrap this way. And I'm just going to curl it around the other petal. I'm going to put some glue on my petal. And then curl it around. And these might be a teensy bit pointier than I want. So I'm just going to round them now. There we go. I'm going to round them. I can also stack and do all of them at the same time. That looks better to me. So I've done a petal on either side. So now I'm going to turn it. So I have one here and here, and I want one there and there. And my last one, I'm just going to stick right wherever that one's two edges are. I have the center of my flower. So now I'm going to go with my next size, and the curves go up and out, and I'm just going to start placing these around. You can put glue on this or you can put glue on the petal. They both work. I'm squeezing the petal around the base I made. Now I'm going to do one on the opposite side. And then I'm going to start offsetting them. And at this point, it's really just a matter of repetition. This is what I'm going to do to build my whole flower. I'm going to slowly glue petal by petal on, working my way outward and working my way around. When I run out of one size, I'm going to move to the next. And that is going to make me a beautiful flower. So I'm going to do some more gluing, and then I will show you how to finish it. So I managed to actually run out of glue, and it turns out glue guns are not universal, and my replacements are too big. So in order to show you how to finish the flower, I just took apart the one I made before. So really, to get from here to here, all I did was continue to glue petals around. And once it gets kind of big, it can be a little easier to hold it upside down and glue them like this. I always encourage you, if you're doing that, to sort of figure out where it would look nicest to be and then attach it. Once you've got all your petals attached, you end up with something like this, minus the bit of green that's left here. And you can see all sort of the glue and that they're just petals there. So to give it a nice finished look, I like to give it that little bit of leaf and a little bit of stem, a little bit of what is called a sepal. It's the part of the plant that protects the bud and then breaks apart when the bud blooms, and you'll see it on flowers sitting right underneath the flower. So to make one of those, I'm really just sort of making a starfish. I am going to draw darkly so you can see something like this, and then I'm going to draw more of them. For some reason, I find it very easy to draw them straight up and nearly impossible to draw it to the side, so I like to rotate my paper. And this is one of those things where if they don't look exactly the same, each of them, it's not going to matter. So that's the shape I made. And I'm going to cut this out. So I have this shape now. And now there are two things I am going to do. I'm going to decide that this is the top. And I'm going to curl all of the, if it's a starfish arms here down. Till I get this. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to curl all of the tips up. And that gives me something like this. It also looks a lot like tomato leaves. I am going to sort of eyeball where the middle is and mark it, and then using my wire, I am going to poke a hole through. And then I can slide that up, and I can use it to cover the base of my flower and hide all of the sort of glue mess and overlaps. To attach it, I am going to see if I can eke out one last bead of glue from this. Set it all around the bottom, and then push my leaves up into it and hold. And that is how I finish off my flower. And there it is. I hope you have fun, and I hope you try it. For me, making a lot of these, and the hardest part is just trying it, is just starting it. It looks intimidating, it looks complicated, but you really just do the same step over and over and over, and you slowly build up to something that really looks quite neat. And you can use magazine paper if you want to make this interesting. You could use old book pages. You could color your petals. You could use colored cardstock. You could color just the tip of your petals. There's so many things you can do that would give you really neat effects. And I hope you try some of those out, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.